Before everything fell apart, we were just two people who believed we had it figured out. My name is Ryan Mitchell, 34 years old, and Jenna, 32, my wife of 5 years. Before everything fell apart, we were just two people who believed we had it figured out. There was me, just a regular guy, not flashy or rich, but steady, reliable. The kind of man who doesn't just say he'll be there, but actually shows up. And there was her. Smart, beautiful, ambitious, and captivating in a way that made people turn their heads when she entered a room. We met through mutual friends, clicked over coffee, and soon built a life together that, on the surface, looked picture perfect. We were the kind of couple people envied, not realizing how fragile that admiration could be when the truth finally clawed its way to the surface. I always believed the end of a relationship would come with something dramatic, maybe screaming, maybe infidelity caught red-handed, or someone slamming the door for good. But sometimes, the moment everything shatters is so quiet, so precise, it echoes louder than any explosion. That's how it happened for me. A sentence, 10 words, said in a low, almost disinterested voice, broke everything I thought I knew about. The woman I married, we were in the kitchen. If you want the full setting, it was a Thursday night. The stove light was on, casting a yellow tint over the countertop where takeout boxes from the Thai place were cooling. We'd had a lukewarm argument. Earlier, something about the trash not being taken out. Or maybe it was the dishwasher. You know how those fights start over little things and end up dragging years of unspoken resentment behind them? It was one of those. She leaned against the counter, arms crossed, looking everywhere but at me. Her hair was pulled into that lazy bun she only did when she was tired or when she didn't care how I saw her. I was standing near the sink, rinsing off a plate I hadn't even used, trying to do something with my hands so I wouldn't say something I'd regret. We were quiet for a moment. Then she said it. Maybe I should have stayed with him. He was bigger in every way. That's it. No build-up, no yelling, just that. Like she was commenting on the weather, I froze. My hands were still under the tap, water pooling over my knuckles, plate slipping slightly from my grip. I didn't even turn around. I didn't say a word. My brain took a few seconds just to process whether I'd actually heard her say what I thought she said, but she kept going. Even his D***K was bigger. The words punched through my chest like a slow, cold knife. I turned then, slowly, and looked at her. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't even angry. She said it like it was just a fact. A detail she'd been holding on to, maybe waiting for the right time to drop, or maybe it slipped. Maybe she didn't even mean to say it, but the look in her eyes, that told me she meant it. Every word. I didn't ask which ex she meant. I didn't want to know. The idea that she was comparing me to someone else, someone she'd been with before me, maybe even during us, was bad enough. But the way she weaponized it, that crushed me. Not just as a man, but as someone who'd loved her, who trusted her, who thought I was enough. She must have seen my face change because suddenly her tone shifted. Wait, that came out wrong. I didn't mean it like that. I just stared at her. Still nothing. I felt hollow, like the air had been sucked out of the room. I was mad, she said. We were arguing and I don't know. It was a dumb thing to say. It mattered enough for you to remember, I said, finally turning away. I put the plate down in the sink. My hands were shaking now. Not with rage, not with sadness, with clarity. That moment, the precision of it, felt like a surgeon's scalpel separating me from her. So what now? She asked, arms still folded like I had to decide where this went. Next, like it was on me to accept it or not. I didn't answer. I walked to the hallway, grabbed my keys, and slid on my jacket. No yelling, no accusations, just a suffocating, dry silence. Are you serious? Where are you going? I opened the door. She was behind me now, voice higher. Nervous. It was a stupid comment, babe. Don't call me that, I said sharply. She flinched like I'd slapped her. She stood there, still in the kitchen light, her face suddenly small, afraid. Maybe not afraid of losing me, but afraid of what that loss meant. The air outside was cold. Not winter cold, just sharp enough to wake your skin. I got into the car, shut the door, and sat there for a while. The engine wasn't even running. I just sat, hands on the steering wheel, breathing, trying to keep it together. You ever have one of those moments where the world feels like it's still moving but you're not in it anymore? That's what it felt like. Like I'd just been cut out of my own life. I didn't cry. I wanted to, but I didn't. I was too numb. The thing about that kind of betrayal, it's not loud. It's not obvious. It's quiet. It's a single moment, a single sentence that rewrites your entire history together. Because if she could say that, what else had she thought but never said? Had she been thinking it during sex? During our anniversary dinner, when I held her, after her dad's funeral? I drove 4 hours. No destination. Just streetlights and engine noise and my own thoughts eating me alive. Her texts started coming in around 11 p.m. "Where are you? We need to talk." I didn't mean what I said. "Please, come home." But I didn't answer, not one. But this was something else. This was humiliation. It wasn't just about him being bigger. It was about her needing me to know it. About her choosing to make me feel small. She could have said anything, but that's what she reached for. I ended up parked at a gas station, just sitting there under flickering lights. A half-empty coffee in the queue folder. The guy inside probably thought I was homeless. Maybe I was, emotionally at least, because whatever home I had with her didn't exist anymore. The thing that kills you after something like that isn't just the pain. It's the questioning. Was I ever enough? Did she settle? Was she faking it all along? And once they're in, they don't let go. Around 2 a.m., I turned my phone off. I didn't want to see her name anymore. I needed space. And not the kind of space where you cool off and come back. I mean real space. The kind you make when you're trying to breathe again. I didn't know where I was going yet, but I knew. One thing, I wasn't going back to someone who compared me to another man. Not in body, not in mind, not in soul, not ever again. That was the night my marriage died. Not with a scream, not with an affair, just 10 quiet, cruel words. And a man finally walking away? I woke up the next morning in the driver's seat of my car, parked behind an old supermarket. The sun was already creeping through the cracked edges of the windshield, warming my neck and reminding me how stiff I felt. My mouth tasted like dry coffee and regret. I rubbed my eyes and stared blankly at the dashboard, unsure what time it was or how long I'd actually slept. Everything still felt unreal. The first real thought that hit me was that I had nowhere to go. I had friends, sure, a few close ones, but I wasn't ready to explain what had happened. Not yet. I didn't want to hear anyone say, "You'll get through this," or maybe it was just a fight. They didn't hear the way she said it. They didn't feel what I felt. So instead of calling someone, I drove aimlessly through town, letting the hum of the engine distract me. I ended up at this little park near the river. I used to come here with her. We'd sit on the benches and feed the ducks. She loved doing that. I remember one time she got mad because I brought bread, and she said bread was bad for ducks. She handed me a bag of frozen peas instead. That memory hit like a brick to the chest. I found an empty bench and sat there for what felt like hours. People jogged past me. Couples walked their dogs. Parents pushed strollers, all living their lives like nothing had changed. Meanwhile, I sat there feeling like I'd just fallen out of the sky. I checked my phone. Dozens of messages. Missed calls. Some from her, some from mutual friends. "Call me, please come home." I didn't mean it. I didn't. Then the tone started to shift. "You're being dramatic. It was just a stupid thing to say. You're going to throw everything away over one comment? One comment? One like words didn't matter? Like trust and respect could be swept under the rug because it wasn't physical. But that comment, what she said, was physical. It was intimate. It was cutting. It was enough to make me question every second I'd ever spent loving her, I thought. About texting back. Thought about writing something cold, something that would sting just enough to match what she'd done, but I didn't. Not because I was above it. Honestly, I was too tired, too drained. Instead, I opened my notes app and started writing. Not to her, just to myself, trying to figure out how I got here. She said he was bigger in every way. I stared at the words, read them over and over. My hands trembled as I typed. What does that make me? A placeholder? That word stuck in my head like gum on a shoe. Placeholder? Had I been just a safe option? A backup plan after her thrilling past didn't work out? Was I the guy she married because I checked the boxes, not because I stirred her soul? The truth is, I'd always sensed a distance in her little things. The way she looked at me sometimes like she was thinking of something else, someone else, I'd ignored it, chalked it up to stress or distraction. But maybe I was just refusing to see what was right in front of me. By afternoon, I was back on the road. No destination, just driving. I passed a motel and considered stopping, but even that felt too close to being alone with my thoughts. Around 5 p.m., my phone rang again. Her name flashed across the screen. I let it ring, then again, and again. Finally, I answered. Not because I wanted to talk, but because I needed closure. "Hello. Oh my God, you finally picked up," she said. Her voice breathless, panicked. "Where are you? Are you okay?" "I'm fine. Can you come home? Please." I've been worried sick. I didn't sleep at all. "You don't get to say that," I replied, keeping my tone even. She was quiet. "You don't get to act like the victim here." No, I know I messed up. I said something horrible. I wasn't thinking. I was angry, and you were honest. That's the part that hurts the most. Silence again, then a sniffle. "I didn't mean it. I swear I didn't. You did. You just didn't mean to say it out loud. She tried to argue, but I cut her off. Why did you say it? What were you trying to do? Win an argument by humiliating me? Remind me that you've had better, that I'm not enough for you. No, it wasn't like that. I was hurt and lashing out. You weren't listening to me, so you went for the jugular. She sighed. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. Maybe. There's nothing left to say. Her breathing changed. More frantic now. Please don't do this. Don't leave. We can fix it. We've been through worse, have we? I couldn't remember anything worse than this. Nothing that ever made me feel so small. I don't think I can unhear what you said, and I don't think I should have too. She started crying. You're everything to me, she sobbed. Please come home. I closed my eyes. That phrase, come home, felt foreign now. Where I lived wasn't home anymore. Not with her, not after that night. I need time, I said. Alone. Are you coming back? I paused. I don't know. That crushed her. I could feel it through the silence. We hung up not long after. No resolution, no promises. Just space. That night I stayed in a cheap motel off the highway. The bed was stiff, the air smelled like bleach, and the walls were paper thin, but it was quiet. And for the first time in days, I felt like I could actually breathe. I lay there staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything, about the way love can change, about how one sentence can kill years of commitment. And I realized something important. It wasn't just the comment that broke me. It was the realization that I'd been trying to prove myself to someone who'd already decided I wasn't enough. That night, I decided I wasn't going to chase her. If she wanted to fix things, she'd have to come to me. Not just with tears or apologies, but with truth, with accountability. And even then, I didn't know if it would be enough. Because sometimes, the deepest wounds come from the people who once held your heart with both hands. And when they drop it, you don't always pick it back up. Not for them. The morning after the motel stay was quieter than the last. Not calmer, just quieter. The kind of quiet that sits heavy on your chest like a weight. I sat at the edge of the stiff mattress, staring at the digital clock blinking red on the nightstand. 6:12 a.m. My body ached, not from any physical strain, but from the emotional battery I'd been absorbing like a punching bag. I checked my phone. One new message. I'm coming over. Please, let me talk to you. Please. It was from her again. I tossed the phone onto the bed and stood up. I hadn't told her where I was staying. But I knew her. She had her ways. Maybe she remembered this place from when we passed it on road trips. Maybe she tracked my location. Wouldn't be the first time she invaded my privacy under the illusion of love. I brushed my teeth in the dim bathroom light, splashed cold water on my face, and stared into the mirror like I was searching for a person I'd lost. And maybe I was. The version of me who believed in us, who believed love could survive anything, that guy felt long gone. At 7:02 a.m., there was a knock at the door. My heart pounded. I opened it slowly, and there she was, standing there with dark circles under her eyes, hair tied back in a messy bun, no makeup, just raw and worn down. She held a coffee cup in one hand and a paper bag in the other, like a peace offering. Her eyes searched my face with desperation. Hi, she said softly. I stepped aside, not inviting her in exactly, but not slamming the door either. She walked in like she was stepping onto sacred ground, cautious, reverent, unsure. She placed the bag on the small table and sat in the one plastic chair the room offered. I brought your favorite bacon, egg, and cheese. I didn't respond. My silence made the air between us stretch taut like a wire about to snap. I haven't slept, she said, voice trembling. I've been sick over this, over what I said. I sat on the edge of the bed, keeping distance. You should have thought about that before you said it. She flinched like I'd slapped her. Then she nodded, eyes filling again. I know. God, I know. I didn't mean it like that. There's only one way to mean what you said. She leaned forward, hands clasped. He meant nothing. That relationship, it was toxic. He cheated, lied, treated me like garbage. I don't even know why I brought him up. I was mad. I was defensive. And I said the most hurtful thing I could think of in the moment. And you reached for that. She nodded slowly. Because I knew it would hurt. Because you were walking away from me emotionally and I didn't know how to pull you back. So I lashed out. I weaponized something I knew you were insecure about. I felt the sting return. That old wound suddenly raw again. And now what? You expect a hug? Forgiveness? You think breakfast fixes that? No, she whispered. I don't expect anything. I couldn't sit at home not knowing if I had a chance to make this right. I stood and walked toward the window. The blinds were drawn, letting in slivers of soft morning light. You know what's crazy? I was happy. Maybe. Not every day. Maybe not with fireworks and grand gestures, but I was content. Safe. I thought we had something solid, something lasting. And then you opened your mouth and cracked the foundation. She sniffled behind me. I was scared you didn't want me anymore. You've been distant. I thought maybe you were already halfway out the door, so I panicked. You panicked and told me your ex was better than me in every way. She was sobbing now, shoulders shaking. I hate myself for that. I really do. I wish I could go back and shut up. I wish I could erase it. I turned to face her, but you can't. And now, every time I think about touching you, about being close to you, he's going to be there. In my head, standing between us, her face crumpled, and for a moment I saw the woman I married, the real her. Not the version who hurt me, but the version who once looked at me like I was everything. Then let me fight for you, she said. Let me prove I still see you that way, that I love you, that I choose you. I sat back down slowly, exhaustion settling in my bones. What does that even look like? You groveling me? Pretending it's fine? What happens the next time you're angry? What else are you going to say? I'll go to therapy, she said quickly. We'll go together or apart. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll put in the work. I know it won't be easy. I just want a chance, one more chance. I watched her, really watched her, and for a second I believed her. I'm not making promises, I said slowly. I don't even know if I can look at you the same way. But I'll think about it. That's all I can give you. She nodded, eyes red but hopeful. That's enough. That's more than I thought I'd get. She stood, wiped her face, and walked toward the door. I'll go now. Thank you for listening, for not slamming the door in my face. I didn't say anything as she left. I just sat there, alone with the silence again. But this time the silence wasn't quite so heavy. I didn't know what would happen next, whether we'd rebuild or drift apart. But I knew this. I was done begging to be enough, done proving myself. If she really wanted this, she'd have to meet me halfway and stay there. And if she couldn't, then maybe it was never love to begin with. That day, I opened the paper bag. The sandwich was still warm, familiar, and for a few minutes, I let myself eat in peace, thinking not of what I'd lost, but of what I might still find in the wreckage. The next few days passed in a fog of half-made decisions and muted emotions. I checked into a longer-term stay at a different motel, one slightly farther from home, just to give myself room to breathe. She didn't message again right away, and I didn't reach out either. The silence wasn't cold. It was necessary. A pause in a song that had lost its melody. I spent my time walking, just walking, through neighborhoods around parks, aimlessly. Down streets I didn't know. Sometimes I ended up in diners, nursing a cup of coffee and staring at couples across the room. I wondered if they were happy, if they ever had their own version of what I'd just lived through, if they were better at surviving it. And each night, when I lay on the unfamiliar mattress, I asked myself the same questions. Could I trust her again? Was love really enough? Or had something permanent broken between us? It was on a Thursday afternoon, 4 days since our last conversation, that my phone buzzed again. Just a single message. I've started therapy. I just wanted you to know. There was no plea, no pressure, just information. And somehow, that struck deeper than all her previous begging, because it meant she was doing it even if I never came back. Not for show, not for me maybe, finally for herself. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay awake staring at the water-stained ceiling, memories playing like a film reel. Our first kiss. The way her hand used to find mine in the dark. The times we fought and made up and felt unbreakable. I couldn't stop remembering the way she looked at me when she told me what she did. And worse, the way I felt about myself after hearing it. Small, defeated, like all my worth had been reduced to a comparison I never signed up for. The next morning, I checked out of the motel. Not because I'd decided to go back, but because I needed to confront things on my terms. I drove to our house, the one we'd made a home. Every turn of the wheel felt heavier than the last. My palms sweated, my throat tightened. I didn't even know if she'd be there, but when I pulled into the driveway, her car was parked out front, curtains drawn, lights on, and my name etched in memory behind that door. I knocked when she opened the door. The look on her face said everything. Shock, hope, terror, longing, all tangled into one expression. "Hi," I said, just like she had. "Hi," she whispered, stepping aside. The house smelled like lavender, clean, like she'd been trying to scrub the past away with bleach and candles. I sat on the couch. She didn't sit right away, just stood near the armchair, hands clenched. In front of her. "I didn't think you'd come." I wasn't sure either. Silence. "Did you really start therapy?" "Yes. First session was yesterday. It hurt a lot, but it also helped me see how much I've buried, how much of myself I've lost, and how badly I hurt you." I nodded slowly. "Good. You needed it." "Honestly, I think we both did." She finally sat not too close. Respecting the gap, "I've been thinking," I began, voice unsteady, "about what you said and what it did to me. You didn't just compare me to someone else. You stripped me down. You made me feel less than, like I wasn't enough as I am." She looked down, ashamed. "I know. And I hate that I did that to you. You are enough. You've always been more than enough. I just couldn't see past my own panic. I've spent the last week trying to figure out if I can forgive you, if I even want to." She blinked back fresh tears, but nodded. "You don't owe me that. I understand. But here's the thing," I said, taking a breath. "Forgiveness isn't about wiping the slate clean. It's not about pretending it never happened. It's about deciding if we can build something stronger from the damage. And I don't know yet if we can, but I'm willing to try." Slowly, carefully, with boundaries. Her hand flew to her mouth in shock. She nodded quickly, eyes wet with gratitude. "Anything, any boundary, I'll respect it." I leaned back still, guarded. "We're going to counseling. Weekly, individually, and together. No exceptions. And you have to be honest, always. Even when it's uncomfortable, especially then. I promise. And if I ever feel like I'm being compared again, even in your head, I'm gone. For good." She nodded firmly. "That's fair, more than fair." We sat there for a while, letting the new rules settle between us, like fresh mortar between bricks. Not trying to recreate the past, but laying the groundwork for something else. Something truer. Eventually, she reached out a hand. Not to grab or pull me close. Just to offer it, and for the first time in days, I didn't flinch. I let her hold it. Not tightly. Just enough to feel the warmth. And in that moment, I didn't feel whole. But I didn't feel broken either. We weren't back together. Not yet. Maybe not ever in the way we once were. But we were trying. Really trying. And that was something later. That night, I left. I didn't stay over. I didn't kiss her. I just left her with a hug that said, "We'll see." I drove away, not with certainty, but with a strange, fragile hope. Because real healing doesn't come with grand gestures. It comes with truth. With time, with showing up again and again, even when it's hard. And if she kept showing up, then maybe, just maybe, I'd find my way back to us. Not the old us. A better version. One that knew the cost of careless words and the strength it took to rebuild. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more of these stories.